Picture this. You're on the edge of a whole new life, maybe a new continent stretching out before you. Or perhaps you've already made that courageous leap and are, finding your footing. That takes incredible strength, resilience, and just an unwavering spirit, doesn't it?
It really does.
Today we're doing a very special deep dive into a truly vital topic, how to navigate and, well, truly thrive in the United States, specifically for Ethiopian immigrants and anyone planning to make that profound journey.
Yeah, and what's truly insightful about our source for this deep dive, it's a comprehensive guide called Life-Changing Lessons for Ethiopians to Thrive in America. A step-by-step guide is its balance.
Okay.
It doesn't just offer practical advice. It approaches this whole journey with real compassion, recognizing the unique challenges and, like you said, the immense courage it takes.
Right. So our mission today is to sort of pull out the most impactful nuggets of knowledge from this guide, offering you a shortcut to being well-informed. We'll cover everything from the legal landscape to building community, even mental well-being. Think of it as a roadmap, really, tailored to empower you for a prosperous and fulfilling life here.
And it's an important context, I think. For many Ethiopian immigrants, their journey to the U.S. is, well, it's steeped in a profound historical context.
Yeah.
A significant exodus, particularly after 1974, saw many seeking refuge from political instability, famine, drought.
Right.
This often means individuals might arrive carrying significant trauma, making mental and emotional health not just important, but absolutely foundational to success here.
That's a really key point.
Yeah.
And here's another crucial historical difference the guide mentions. Unlike some other immigrant groups who've often settled in, concentrated areas, Ethiopians have historically dispersed more widely.
That's true.
So what this means for you, the listener, is that maintaining language and cultural ties often requires, intentional effort, community building.
Exactly.
And this deep dive will hopefully illuminate how to do that and why it's just so vital.
It really underscores that thriving isn't solely about, say, economic stability. It's profoundly impacted by your mental and emotional health and having those strong social connections.
They're all linked.
Definitely. We'll delve into how these different facets are interconnected as we go.
Okay, so as with any huge journey, the first step is often the most critical. Firmly planting your legal roots. Understanding the U.S. immigration system. It can feel daunting. It's governed by the Immigration and Nationality Act, but knowing your specific status is just paramount.
Right. And the guide makes it clear that while there's a whole spectrum of visa options, non-immigrant visas like H-1B for skilled workers or O-1 for extraordinary ability for many Ethiopian immigrants, humanitarian protections are particularly relevant.
Like TPS.
Exactly. Temporary Protected Status, TPS, was specifically announced in late 2022 for Ethiopia because of the civil war. It offers temporary protection from deportation. The real insight here, I think, is to understand which pathways offer you the most direct and secure route, rather than getting kind of lost in all the options.
So what does this all boil down to for your long-term future here? We're talking about real pathways to permanent residency and ultimately U.S. citizenship.
Exactly. Getting a green card or lawful permanent resident status, that's your key to residing here indefinitely.
Right.
The guide details various ways, but for many Ethiopians, family-based petitions and humanitarian routes are often really significant.
How does the family-based one work?
Well, it's a cornerstone of U.S. policy. Immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, spouses, minor children, parents, they don't face numerical limits.
Okay.
Other family members, like adult children or siblings, fall under preference categories with annual caps. Crucially, though, you need a U.S. citizen or LPR sponsor to petition for you.
And they have to prove things.
Yes, they have to confirm a legitimate relationship, meet income requirements, and sign an affidavit of support, basically promising financial responsibility. Then you have employment-based immigration for those with specific skills. And of course, the diversity visa program, the green card lottery, which gives out 50,000 visas annually for countries with historically few immigrants. But a really relevant pathway for many Ethiopians is through refugee or asylee status. If you've been granted this protection, you're eligible to apply for a green card after just 1 year of U.S. residence.
Only 1 year. That's significant.
It is. It's a huge opportunity to pursue promptly.
And citizenship. What's the time frame there?
Generally, it's 5 years after becoming an LPR, or just 3 years if you're married to a U.S. citizen.
Seems straightforward, but I bet there's more to it.
Well, the guide emphasizes, meticulously tracking your physical presence in the U.S. and understanding the civics and English language requirements.
Ah, the civics test.
Exactly. A real insight here is how crucial it is to start preparing for that test way before you apply, maybe integrating it into your daily English practice.
Good tip.
Becoming a citizen, it offers full civic participation, voting rights, more protection. It gives you a stronger voice in your new home.
So planning ahead is key from the start.
Absolutely. This really highlights the importance of strategic long-term planning right from day one. You need to understand your specific requirements from the outset.
And the system is complex. I mean, we've just scratched the surface. So getting professional legal guidance seems paramount.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking licensed immigration attorneys or Board of Immigration Appeals recognized organizations like Clinic.
And watch out for scams, right?
Definitely. Be vigilant. Always verify credentials before you engage any services or pay any money.
Okay, so with that crucial legal foundation starting to take shape, the next big pillar of stability, and honestly often where the real everyday challenges lie, is mastering the U.S. financial system.
Mm-hmm.
This deep dive really emphasizes opening a bank account, building credit, and smart budgeting.
Right. And opening a bank account sounds basic, maybe, but the guide reveals a critical insight here.
What's that?
Choosing an immigrant-friendly bank, one with specific services for newcomers, can dramatically smooth your financial integration. It can save you from hidden fees or unnecessary hurdles.
Okay, so what do you need?
You'll typically need a social security number, an SSN, or if you're not eligible for one, an individual taxpayer identification number, an ITI.
Which you get from the IRS.
Right. You apply using Form W-7, then gather documents like a valid passport or green card, plus proof of your U.S. address, like an invoice, a letter, maybe a pay stub.
And then research banks.
Yeah. Look into banks like Bank of America, Citibank, Chase, Wells Fargo. They often have experience with immigrant needs. Compare fees. You might need to visit a branch in person and probably have a small initial deposit ready, maybe $25 to $100.
Okay, now building credit. This is where the U.S. system can feel really different, right?
Oh, definitely. U.S. financial institutions typically don't consider your credit history from back home.
So you start from zero.
Literally zero, which can mean bigger security deposits for apartments, maybe needing to pay more rent up front. The deep insight here is that for many new immigrants, the real starting point for financial stability isn't just getting a job, it's building that credit history from scratch.
So how do you do that if you have no history?
Good question. First, make sure you have that SSN or ITIN. Then, secured credit cards are highly recommended.
Secured. How does that work?
Imagine you put down a cash deposit, say $200. That $200 becomes your credit limit.
Oh, okay.
You use the card, make payments on time, and that builds your history. You're essentially borrowing against your own money, so it's lower risk for the bank. It's a really critical first step.
Smart. Are there other options?
Yeah, some issuers like Zolve, Petal, and New specifically offer cards accepting ITNs. You could also become an authorized user on a trusted person's card, someone with good credit. Their good history can sometimes help yours.
That's interesting. What about those less common methods the guide mentioned?
Right. Things like credit builder loans. You take out a small loan, maybe $500, but the money is held in a special savings account.
You don't get it right away.
No. You make small monthly payments on this loan. As you do, your responsible payment history gets reported to the credit bureaus. Once you've paid it off, then you get the $500.
So it forces you to save and builds credit.
Exactly. It's a structured way to prove you can manage credit. Similarly, lending circles, often through nonprofits, are community groups where members pool money and payments get reported.
Wow.
And there's a free service called Experian Booster that lets you add on-time payments for things like rent, utilities, even your cell phone bill to your Experian credit report.
That could help beef it up. And of course, just using credit responsibly is key, right?
Absolutely paramount. Always pay bills on time. That accounts for like 35% of your FICO score.
Yeah.
Keep your credit usage low, ideally below 30% of your limit, and monitor your credit regularly. You can get free reports from annualcreditreport.com.
Okay, so banking, credit. What about just managing money day to day? Budgeting.
Crucial. Effective money management is key. Track your income and expenses, really separate your needs from your wants, create a detailed budget.
And savings.
Yes. An important question to ask yourself is, are you building an emergency fund? You really want to aim for 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Set up automatic transfers if you can.
Makes sense.
Also, prioritize health insurance. We'll talk more about it, but medical costs here are exceptionally high. It's a leading cause of bankruptcy, sadly.
Wow.
And if you send money home, remittances, consider services like Wise for better exchange rates, recognizing, the significant contribution remittances make back to Ethiopia.
Good point. And are there programs to help learn all this? Financial literacy?
Yes. Organizations like ORI, the Office for Refugees and Immigrants, often offer free workshops, sometimes in multiple languages. They cover banking, credit, even home buying. So many resources are out there for you.
Okay, we just touched on it, but healthcare in the U.S., it's notoriously expensive. Understanding your options is absolutely critical, right, to avoid that massive medical debt.
Absolutely critical. You'll need to figure out your eligibility for various programs. There's federal ones like Medicaid, CHIP for children, the Affordable Care Act marketplace coverage.
Which lawfully present immigrants can usually access.
Generally, yes. And then there's Medicare, mostly for older adults or those with disabilities. Employer-sponsored plans are common too, but access really varies.
And states differ?
They do. Some states expand coverage even regardless of immigration status sometimes, so it's really important to research your specific state's policies.
So the big takeaway is?
Continuous health insurance coverage is paramount. The guide really stresses this. Try never to go a single day without it.
And what about fear? Some people might be hesitant to access assistance programs.
That's a real concern. The guide emphasizes seeking reliable information and legitimate services to overcome those fears. Because, connecting this to the bigger picture, health is such a critical, often overlooked piece of integration.
Right.
Without good health, economic stability, civic participation, it all gets much harder. It really is foundational.
Okay, beyond health, what about other social services? Support systems.
Eligibility varies by legal status again, but resources are definitely there. The key is knowing where to look.
So where do you start?
Actively seek out nonprofit organizations and community-based groups that specifically serve immigrants and refugees. For our Ethiopian listeners, contacting Ethiopian community organizations is invaluable.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. There's the Ethiopian Community Development Council, ECDC. They're actually a national refugee resettlement agency. In D.C., the Ethiopian Community Support and Advocacy Center, ECSEC, provides mental health and social services.
Okay.
You also have groups like Ethiopian Community Los Angeles, ECLA, the Ethiopian Community in Seattle, ECS, Ethiopian Community Association in Atlanta, ECAA, the Ethiopian Community EATER in Dallas, and the Ethiopian Community Center, Inc., back in D.C.
Wow, lots of them. What do they offer?
Everything from mental health support and legal referrals to help finding jobs and cultural programs to keep traditions alive.
And you mentioned religious institutions earlier.
Yes, absolutely. Places like Coptic Christian churches and mosques are often huge sources of comfort and act as vital community centers for many Ethiopian Americans. They offer spiritual support, but also practical help and a sense of belonging, which leads right into building those robust social connections. It's profoundly important. Beyond the civic, economic, linguistic stuff, the quality of your social connections deeply affects how successfully you integrate. And given those dispersed settlement patterns we talked about earlier, actively seeking out Ethiopian community organizations becomes even more vital. It acts as a buffer against isolation, providing that crucial sense of community.
So the advice is, find your local Ethiopian community centers, see what they offer, and then get involved.
Exactly. Volunteer. Participate in events. It's a fantastic way to build connections, maybe even gain some U.S. work experience on your resume, and contribute meaningfully.
Makes sense. And lean on those religious institutions, too.
Definitely. They are often community hubs, providing invaluable support networks.
Should you only connect with other Ethiopians?
Well, while connecting with your diaspora is vital, the guide also suggests building a diverse support network. Connect with U.S.-born individuals, other newcomers from different backgrounds.
That's important.
It enhances understanding, broadens your perspective on American life, join clubs, maybe seek mentorship, and importantly, don't forget to maintain connections back home through social media for that emotional support.
So the balance.
Exactly, a balance that helps mitigate homesickness while you're fostering these new ties here.
Okay, moving to a new country. It's exciting, no doubt, but it's also profoundly challenging. Let's talk about cultural adjustment, culture shock. Those feelings of frustration, homesickness, isolation, they're real.
Oh, absolutely real. And the guide really emphasizes that it's completely normal. Validating those feelings is the first step.
Yeah.
And what's crucial here, again, thinking about the background, many Ethiopians may come from political instability, human rights abuses, is that mental health support isn't just about adjusting to a new culture. It's potentially about addressing underlying trauma. This really highlights the need for a holistic approach to well-being. It's not just feeling sad because I miss home.
So what does this mean practically for you, the listener?
Acknowledge and validate your feelings. Don't dismiss them. Practice self-care. Make time for hobbies, exercise, get out in nature if you can. Build that support network we talked about, both local friends and fellow immigrants.
Stay connected to home, too.
Yes, stay connected with roots back home. And really importantly, don't hesitate to seek professional mental health support if you need it.
Where can people find that?
Ethiopian community organizations like ECSEC and ECLA often offer culturally sensitive services or can provide referrals. ECDC also supports programs like Project Peace, specifically for domestic violence survivors within the community.
That's good to know.
And the guide underscores patience. Cultural adaptation isn't like flipping a switch. It takes time. There will be frustrating days.
Any insights on handling those tough moments?
Yeah, anticipate those culture shock moments.
Yeah.
Maybe connect with others who've gone through similar transitions. Hearing their stories can help normalize your own experience. And remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Honestly, sometimes making mistakes is the fastest, albeit sometimes embarrassing, way to learn and truly integrate.
Good perspective. Maintain optimism and patience.
Exactly. It takes time.
All right, let's shift to communication. English proficiency is obviously a cornerstone for success, right? It unlocks opportunities in work, education, just daily life. Limited English can be a big barrier.
Definitely. So take ESL classes. Many communities offer free or low-cost options through libraries, community colleges, nonprofits.
Are there online resources?
Yes. USA Learns has a free online course called Access America, which is great because it combines English learning with civic and economic integration topics.
Yeah, smart.
Practice with native speakers whenever you can. Focus on conversational English, practical stuff for daily life, and just be patient with yourself. Don't worry about perfection. Progress is the goal.
But it's not just about the words, is it? The guide mentions nonverbal cues and cultural communication styles.
That's a huge point. American communication tends to be quite direct, clear, and concise compared to many cultures.
Like eye contact.
Yes, direct eye contact is generally preferred. It's seen as a sign of interest and honesty, not disrespect. A firm handshake and a smile are common greetings.
What if you don't understand something?
Always ask for clarification. Don't just nod or guess. It's much better to say, sorry, could you repeat that? Or, I'm not sure I understand, than to misunderstand or provide an incorrect answer. It avoids so many problems down the road.
Good advice. Now, what about maintaining your native language, like Amharic? Is that seen as a negative?
Not at all. The guide makes a valuable point here. Maintaining Amharic is not a hindrance, it's actually a valuable skill.
How so?
Well, Ethiopian community centers often offer Amharic classes for the next generation. USCIS provides resources in Amharic. Engaging with Ethiopian media, music, arts keeps your language vibrant.
So it reinforces being bicultural.
Exactly. It reinforces biculturalism and dual linguistic competence. It makes you richer, more connected, not divided. It's an asset.
This brings us to a really interesting, maybe delicate part of the journey. Finding that sweet spot. Understanding American cultural norms while passionately preserving your rich Ethiopian heritage.
It's about integration, not assimilation.
Right. It's not about abandoning who you are, but integrating identity. So how do you navigate that?
Well, the guide advises observing local customs first.
Right.
Things like greetings, personal space norms, punctuality. Americans tend to value being on time.
Okay.
American culture often values individualism, freedom, personal accomplishments. And as we said, communication is generally direct. Explore your neighborhood, try local food, just be observant.
And the mindset.
Most importantly, try to stay open to change and avoid quick judgments. This can make your transition smoother without losing yourself. It's about adapting without erasing your core identity.
And how do you actively maintain your cultural identity?
Participate in Ethiopian cultural events and holidays. Seek out familiar food, find those Ethiopian restaurants or grocery stores. Connect with places of worship like those Coptic Christian churches and mosques we mentioned.
And share your culture.
Yes. Here's an active step the guide suggests. Share your Ethiopian experiences and culture with Americans you meet. This fosters mutual understanding. It can even help challenge stereotypes or, as the guide puts it, reduce the color line concept of racism some might encounter.
So it's about building bridges.
Exactly. Building bridges, not just living parallel lives. Engage with those Ethiopian cultural organizations for Amharic classes, traditional dance, art, cooking classes. The goal really is biculturalism, embracing the new while actively nurturing your heritage. It leads to a richer, more resilient identity.
That's powerful. A combination that contributes both to your well-being and to the diversity of the U.S.
Precisely.
Okay, finally, thriving isn't just about navigating the immediate challenges, right? It's about looking ahead. Strategic planning for long-term success. That's your roadmap.
Absolutely. And the guide recommends setting realistic goals. Break down.
Like short-term goals.
Yeah, define those immediate needs. Securing stable housing, getting an ID card, opening that bank account, finding initial employment, just getting settled.
And then midterm.
Think about things like diligently building that credit score, improving your English proficiency, maybe pursuing further education or job training, and definitely working towards getting your green card if that's your path.
And the big picture, long term.
That's where you think about U.S. citizenship, advancing in your career, maybe home ownership, and building robust investments for retirement. Planning for the future.
So how do you make that happen? A personal action plan.
Exactly. It means prioritizing what needs to happen first, breaking down those big goals into smaller, manageable steps, identifying the resources you need for each step, and then, crucially, monitoring your progress.
And celebrating the wins.
Yes. Remember to celebrate those small wins along the way. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. It keeps you motivated.
Things change, though, right? Policies, the economy.
They do. The dynamic nature of U.S. policies, systemic barriers that might exist. It means continuous learning and adaptation are absolutely key.
So stay informed.
Stay informed, be open to learning new skills, network continuously, build those connections, and don't be afraid to seek feedback. Proactive strategic planning is really crucial for navigating uncertainties.
And let's quickly touch on financial planning for the future. Again, beyond just budgeting. You mentioned investments.
Right. What's particularly insightful here for long-term success is starting to understand the U.S. investment market. Maybe diversifying across things like stocks, index funds, potentially real estate down the line.
Are there options for those with significant capital already?
Yes. For some, investor visas like the E2 Treaty Investor Visa could be an option, potentially leading to permanent residency, but it requires a substantial investment, think minimum, U.S. $100,000 plus majority ownership in an active U.S. business and a solid business plan.
So that's a very specific path.
A very specific and significant commitment, yes. But for everyone, regardless of capital, thinking about retirement planning is crucial. Understanding things like 401ks if your employer offers one, or setting up an IRA, an individual retirement account.
Wow. What an incredible deep dive today. We've covered so much ground, really, from the nitty-gritty of legal navigation and finance to cultural integration and building a truly prosperous and fulfilling life here in America.
It's clear the journey is multifaceted, isn't it?
Yeah.
It requires that legal security, financial stability, cultural integration, building those robust social connections, and really tending to your profound emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Each lesson we've discussed today kind of builds upon the last, highlighting how interconnected your entire integration process really is.
Absolutely. And to you, our listener, remember you have the inherent strength and determination to build a prosperous and deeply integrated life here. This guide and hopefully this deep dive today serves as a testament to your enduring spirit and the truly significant contributions you make to the vibrant tapestry of U.S. society. Mm-hmm. So, as you move forward, here's something to think about. How will you actively embrace the unique challenge, but also the profound opportunity of weaving your rich Ethiopian heritage into the fabric of your new American life? How will you create not just a new home, but a new, powerful identity that enriches both you and your community?
That's a great question to ponder.
If you found this deep dive valuable, please be sure to subscribe to this channel. We aim to bring you more similar deep dives, cutting through the noise to get to the heart of what matters for your journey. We're always here to help you navigate and thrive.